when you are struggling, and when you encounter obstacles, because I guarantee you, you will, and you start thinking about giving up, I want you to remember something that has carried us through every moment of our lives. And that is the power of hope. The belief that something better is always possible if you're willing to work for it and fight for it.
There's this gap between cynicism and hope. I believe both are a choice. Like, hope is a choice, and for me, it was the hardest choice. Because I was the guy who was cynical. When I graduated college, I was 23, 40 grand in consumer debt, and I was angry at the world. I was like, I followed this path, I got good grades, I got the degree, where's my wonderful life? Cynicism becomes the easier choice. So I think it starts with, do not be cynical. Because life is so much better and richer when you choose hope. Even though it's the hard thing to do, it's the stupid, cheesy thing to do. You're drinking your own poison when you just walk around cynical towards the world. Hope is a choice, cynicism is a choice. I hope you choose hope.
Because when you're stuck and when you are on a downward spiral, whether it's just in your own head or it's in self-destructive behavior, the thing that's missing in your life is hope.
What matters is, do we have that vision of hope? Do we see a possible future for us to step into that will make our lives better? You know, what's going on in the material world is not the point. It's a side effect. For you to have any vision of hope in the future, you need to decide that something is more valuable than what you have today.
If I have learned anything in my time traveling the world, it is the power of hope. The power of one person, a Washington, a Lincoln, King, Mandela. One person can change the world by giving people hope.
When you give up hope, you stop dreaming. My friend, you stop believing. Don't you ever lose hope. Don't you ever give up your mindset.
It ain't gonna be easy. Most of the time, you're gonna feel like there's no way out, that you can't do it. But listen to me when I say there is always hope. You gotta stare all that in the face and say, you can't beat me. I'm too strong.
If you don't have belief, if you don't have hope, if you don't have faith, you ain't got nothing. You hear what I'm telling you?
Love and hope and optimism is hard. Fear and negativity and cynicism is easy and lazy.
You see, you don't have to accept everything that has been handed to you. You can create the lifestyle you want. You can create the business you want, the friendships you want. It's all up to you. So there is no need for you to feel hopeless. You gotta get out of despair.
And it's not the end until you've given up. And just the fact that you're here should persuade you that you have another chance to get back up. There's still hope.
What if I told you this was the last Monday morning of your life? What if I told you you died this week? Would you complain about your job or that test you don't want to take? I doubt it. I just don't get the mentality of being head down sad on a Monday morning. Take a step back, recognize that you can attack the world in a totally different way, and think about how awesome it actually is.
I heard somebody tell me they're not a morning person. What kind of foolishness is that? You're not a what? What does that mean exactly? You're not a morning person. If I got to get up early in the morning and get the money, I'm a morning person.
What matters is just being present for the thing. If you're doing something that you want to do and you're fully there for it, it's the only thing that matters. What's happening in front of you literally has all the meaning in the world. Make the best of it.
We can be the happiest and the most grateful we've ever been while we are going through the most difficult, painful, scary time in our lives. You're going, this sucks, but I'm gonna make the best of it.
How do you start your day? Now, for real, I really want you to think about that. How do you start your day? Because here's what I believe. I believe that if you start your day right, you can end your day right.
Once you leave your beautiful house, the war starts. So in the morning time, what I'm doing is I'm building my armor. It gets broken every night. I build the armor because now I know there's gonna be some disappointments along the way every day.
Yeah.
So that's life.
If you wake up in the morning and you're breathing, and you're standing in front of that mirror, and you have survived the stuff you have survived, and you are still waking up and trying to do better, that's a win.
what's your morning routine like? Because your journey to greatness all starts with the first decision you make in the daylight.
If I get up early, if I have time to myself to have a little routine, I've almost got this like resilient bubble around me.
For me, redefining what is a perfect day and living as many of those days in a row as I possibly can, to me, that's winning.
The greatest gift you have as a human is choice. You control whether you get up and drive forward or not.
You wake up in the morning and love your life. Take the time to enjoy taking deep breaths and looking at sunrises and seeing the beauty of life all around you and go, oh, life can be really beautiful. It can be really good. Who feels good? Yeah!
For me personally, there's no lack of urgency when I wake up in the morning to think, oh, don't worry, I got all the time in the world. Because I know I don't. And I'm lucky to be here. And I'm gonna try and live in a way that will at least do justice for my friends that aren't here. But I think about that every day.
All that fear that's in your head, all the what ifs and the scenarios that you create inside your own mind that are way worse than anything that is actually gonna happen, they all disappear when you go. So just take action and start moving forward. That is the moment that can last 1,000,000 years, is waiting to go. And I found I'm pretty good at it now, where, I'm like, oh yeah, I know what that is. This feeling of caution and fear and all that stuff in the back of my head, yeah, I just need to get rid of all that and just go.
It seems to go away when I move toward it.
Yeah, it does go away. The more you sit there and think about it, the worse it's gonna get in your own head.
The single greatest skill that you can develop is being in a great mood in the absence of things to be in a great mood about. Most people don't question someone who's in a bad mood. Like, I'm just in a bad mood. So it's like, well, if you can be in a bad mood for no reason, it's like you might as well be in a good mood for no reason, because that one at least serves you. On one degree, there's like, let's count things to be grateful for. On the other side, why do I have to have things to be grateful for in order to be in a good mood? Why is trying to find things a requirement of being in that mood? Can I not find things and still choose to be in a good mood? Because I've certainly not had things to be in a bad mood about and been in a bad mood. What if I could just be in a good mood? And so I've just tried to break that relationship between the two, because then it makes it contingent on something that I can find.
How successful have you been at that?
Mediocre.
But what's funny about it all is that we don't take a second to realize the purpose is always there. The purpose never leaves us, because the very purpose is you. You are always the purpose. There may be another purpose, like being a SEAL or going to college or whatever, but the main purpose in life is you. So if you wake up in the morning and you don't want to do something, you don't care enough about yourself. And that's what you need to really research is, man, why am I not doing this for myself? Because that is the number one purpose in life, is to better oneself. So the reason I get up every day, even though there's no race or there's no school, there's nothing in front of me, is because I have pride in myself.
But where do you go to? You wake up on a morning, it's cold, it's wet, it's dark. You've got these problems.
I need you to keep talking about what you were just saying.
It's warm on the couch. Your missus says stay in bed. It's comfy, it's cozy. You've got work later on. You had an argument last night. You're slightly hungover.
That fires me up. I know only I can fix these problems, because I have to face these problems. That brings joy to my life right there, because I know there's so many people that have the ability and just refuse to get off that couch. Refuse to study a few more hours, refuse to go deeper, to go further. And that's where I gain the advantage. It's so easy to be great nowadays, my friend, because most people are weak. Most people don't want to go to that extra mile. Most people don't want to find that extra, because it sucks. It's miserable, it's lonely. And that used to hurt me. Now I thrive in it. That's the only place to be. So that's the only purpose I need.
For me, it's going to accomplish something, to have some sort of purpose. Right. I'm still working on getting better on vacations. My wife knows that I'm much easier to get along with on vacation if I get a couple hours to write in the morning and get a workout in. I wish I could go 2 weeks with going, hey man, whatever. But I get antsy, I get edgy. I'm not present because I need a little time to go break a sweat, mentally, physically. And then the rest of the day I'm great.
You have to do things to take care of yourself today, but you also have to take into account the well-being of your future self. Find a passion or orientation that takes care of you today, that satiates your itch today, but that also doesn't alienate the people that you love that are around you. Perhaps the answer to your problems today is to work abroad, figure out a situation where you can work remotely, develop a routine where in the mornings you work out, you drink coffee, and you do your work for 4 or 5 hours, and then every afternoon you commit to doing a different hike or to doing a different kind of hobby. So you're kind of ticking all those boxes of satiating your need for novelty and adventure and enthrallment while being responsible and meeting the criteria of taking care of your future self and taking care of yourself.
At the end of every day, you look yourself in the mirror and you ask yourself, did I get better today? If the answer is yes, and you do that for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, how much better are you gonna be? Are you getting better every single day? That's the question, right? And it's just taking small steps. You don't try to get it all done in one day, in 1 week, in 1 year, right? It's the process of getting better every day. And the idea is a very simple one. Trying to be the best version of yourself.
If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you will come home to a bed that is made, that you made. And a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better. So if you want to change the world, start off by making your bed.
We are very unique creatures on this planet. We live on 3 different planes, don't we? Only we have self-awareness. We have the sense of purpose. And we live on 3 planes. The physical plane, like this is a vehicle, your body is a vessel, a vehicle. And so we live on that physical plane, but we're also energy. We're radiance, we're a soul, we're a spirit, we're energy. And then somewhere beyond, between those 2, there's the thoughts, feelings, and emotions that you have. So you're living life on 3 planes. And as you get older, assuming you're doing the work, because wisdom is not just age, wisdom is experience, your soul, your consciousness gets wiser as your body begins to deteriorate. And this is why you hear old folks always saying, if I could just go back, like, what do they say? Age is wasted on the youth. That term exists because if I just knew what I know now then, oh my gosh, what I could have done in my 20s, they say, right? I have greater self-control, greater self-mastery, more in line with what my God-given source purpose is. And there I still have thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and I have to master those so that I could keep driving towards my God-given purpose. And so the inner voice is constantly fighting with those 3 factors. The reasons our negative self-talk exists is just that's your conscience. Your conscience has no other way of getting your attention other than making you feel bad, making you feel shame, guilt, anxiety, depression. That's how your conscience knocks on your door and says, dude, you're living incongruently with how you believe you should be living. And that's why I'm giving you negative thoughts, negative voices in your head. Just literally flick the switch and tomorrow live congruently to the man you want to be.
I'm inspired by practicality and reality and the truth, which is, it is ridiculously impossible to become a human being. I am one. I have other good things going for me as a human being, and I'm just grateful. You're dwelling and looking at what you don't have versus looking at what you have. I'm trying to get people to practice reframing their perspective. If I wake up in the morning and nobody I love passed away or came down with a terminal illness, then my day starts off great. There's nothing you'll ever accomplish that's more remarkable than that you have a chance to accomplish something.
Anything you could think of, if you could actually think of it, it means you can do it. So if it pops up in your brain, it means that you have the ability to do it. Why? Because the brain would never think of something that it could not do.
See, let me share something with you. The easiest thing I've ever done was to earn $1 million. The most difficult thing I've ever done was to believe it could happen to me. That was the most difficult part, to believe.
What does it mean to be resilient? To be resilient means that you are able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions.
The role of just that dogged determination to keep going. And that's not a thing of being brilliant. It's just trying to keep going, often sliding another step back, but keep moving forward. And that's a great thing because it's not something only some people can have. You know, it's universal for us all. We can all become, people think it's a God-given gift to someone be resilient. Resilience is that muscle. You build it by failing, trying to stay positive and trying to get back your feet and going again.
Because my wife is saying if anybody knows how to get back up when they get knocked down, it's you. So my wife looks to me to see what we gonna do. And I looked at her and smiled. And I said, we'll get through this one like we've gotten through every other storm. We're resilient. And I can't tell you exactly what we're gonna do today, but I'm gonna tell you this, we're gonna get through this. And a year from now, we'll laugh at this. 2 years from now, we'll talk about this like it was a distant memory. Listen to me very closely. Life's gonna hit you in your mouth and you gotta do me a huge favor. You gotta tell life, I don't know who you've been dealing with, but you ain't dealt with me. But you come up against the wrong one this time.
You know, in the beginning, you're like, I feel bad. And then you think that should weigh on the decision of whether you do the thing that you're supposed to do. And then you start realizing that you can do the thing even though you don't feel good about it. And so I think the ultimate version of the resilience that you were referencing earlier is when you don't even consider how you feel. It's just not a thought. You just do it. Then it's almost irrelevant. And I can just keep living my life.
Resilience! See, what you become in the process is more important than the dream. The kind of person you become, the character that you build, the courage that you develop, the faith that you're manifesting. You get up in the morning, you look yourself in the mirror, you're a different kind of person. You walk with a different kind of spirit. You knew it was hard, but you did it hard.
You gotta get yourself up. I'm gonna need you to stand up. I'm gonna need you to rise up. Why? Because if you get up, you're gonna win. I know you're tired, I know it hurts, but keep getting up.
And you gotta be able to bounce back. You gotta be resilient. Sometimes you're gonna face obstacles and you gotta have the ability to get back up and brush it off. You act like you ain't never failed in the first place. Are you hearing me?
Dig down deep and find that warrior that lives inside of us all. Use that warrior to get back up.
You have the power to fall down 9 times and get back up 10. You have the power to lose the lead and still come back and win. You are resilient.